Secretary Connolly, I want to ask you to make sure Tim Kaine wins this election on Tuesday. And it was great to hear the Dave Matthews Band again. As you can see, I have given my voice in the service of my president. I had the honor of introducing the president tonight and sort of setting up his speech. And I want to tell you that 4 years ago when he ran, both Hillary and I worked very hard. We did together over 100 appearances. But I am much more enthusiastic about Barack Obama's election tonight than I was even 4 years ago. There are 5 simple reasons. First of all, in a time torn by ideological warfare and contentious partisanship, he has the right philosophy. The president knows that we're all in this together works a lot better than you're on your own.
Right.
He knows that an economy that builds the middle class and gives poor people an honorable way to work their way into it is a lot better than 4 more years of trickle down. We've been there. He knows that a budget based on arithmetic is a lot better than one based on illusion. And he knows that practical cooperation is better than all this constant ideological conflict. And we saw it, didn't we? We saw it in the way the president got off the campaign trail and responded to Sandy. All over America, people were thrilled to see him working with the Republican governor of New Jersey and the mayor of New York City, who is an independent and who endorsed President Obama. And Democratic governors in New York and Connecticut. There is no Republican or Democratic way to rebuild after a flood, to save lives, to start again, to turn the electricity on, to clean the debris. But what I want to tell you is cooperation works better when there is no disaster. And if you don't have cooperation, you have the makings of a disaster. Barack Obama is a proven cooperator. He even offered the Republicans unilaterally, in an attempt to get a budget deal, $1 trillion in spending cuts. They said, thank you very much, no deal. We will not see 1 penny raised on the wealthiest Americans, even if it will get rid of $4 trillion in debt. But he kept going, and the door is still open, and when you re-elect him, the door will be open and they will walk through that door. The second reason that I'm for President Obama is that he has done a good job with a bad hand. Keep in mind, all through 2007 and 2008, then Senator Obama crossed America with Senator Clinton and Senator Biden and other good Democrats, all talking about how bad the economy already was. Median family income after inflation was lower than it was the day I left office. Poverty was up. All these things Mr. Romney talks about now were true before the crash because of the policies he now advocates. Then came the crash, just 6 weeks before the election. And he took office when the economy was losing 800,000 jobs a month. Now, the economy lost jobs for about 15 months. But when it started again, and President Obama's jobs program started kicking in just 33 months, we've had 5.5 million jobs as of yesterday. When someone criticizes an office holder, you have a right to ask them, compared to what? So let's look at our most recent comparison. If you don't count the losses in the crash against President Bush, and you just look at the 7 years after the brief slowdown we had when the dot-com stocks crashed a little bit, and the onset of the crash in September 2008, just that 7-year period, there were 2.6 million private sector jobs. In 33 months, less than half that time, twice as many jobs, 5.5 million. Barack Obama has done a good job with a bad hand. The third reason I'm for him is that he has fulfilled his solemn responsibility to be a good commander-in-chief. He has advanced the nation's security by ending the war in Iraq, by bringing our troops home from Afghanistan, by fighting terror, modernizing the military, and aggressively pursuing diplomacy to make a world with more friends and fewer adversaries. And he's got a heck of a Secretary of State. Most important of all to me, he has shown a consistent, unbreakable commitment to take care of the men and women in uniform when they come home. For all these reasons, he was endorsed by a self-described moderate Republican and one of the most distinguished military leaders since World War II, General Colin Powell. Who also pointed out that his opponent's main advisors are the same neocons that took us into war in Iraq on bad intelligence. Barack Obama is your choice for commander-in-chief. The fourth reason I'm for him can best be described in a phrase once used by the second President Bush. Believe it or not, he said something I really agree with. And he often got made fun of, but it's true. He said the president is the decider in chief. Okay? So let's look how these deciders stack up.